Today in this video, we're going to talk about a few more things you need to know if you are trying to buy a house and you are self-employed. You're a contractor, you're a sole proprietor, whatever. When you're truly self-employed, these are some more tips you need to know when it comes to buying a house. Check it out. Hi, my name is Rhonda Burgess, and I'm a real estate broker and mortgage underwriter here in Nashville, Tennessee. I want to come on again and do another video about some things I'm seeing us fellow self-employed people doing wrong when it comes to qualifying for your mortgage and buying your house, okay? It's just some things y'all been texting, calling about, and let me get this straight for you now so that you can be successful when it comes to buying your house when you're self-employed, okay? First of all, in the last video that I did, I talked about how you need to not write everything off for 2 years worth of tax returns, right? Let me further clarify that. You need to be self-employed in the same line of work, the same industry for 2 years, for these 2 years. As underwriters, we don't like to see people hopping around from here, there, and yonder, okay? If you're, 6 months, you're doing hair. Another 6 months, 12 months, you baking cakes. You baking, okay? Then another 6 months, you doing something else. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. You need 2 years in the same line of work, in the same business, okay? Now, the only variation I've seen that really works, I had someone who was a Uber driver for a year and a half, and then they got their own 18-wheeler. They got their own big truck, and now they're driving big trucks. You're still driving. Most businesses are not profitable off the rip anyway, okay? Even if you have a good streak, let's say you start a business and you done hit a good lick. Let's say you're doing a Shopify store and what you were selling something around about Christmas time and it was very, very, very popular, okay? And so you had $30,000, $40,000 worth of net profit that month. That's good. That is good. But this is the reason why you got to show 2 years of doing this, because we know certain things are seasonal. We know Christmas is a bigger time than, 4th of July as far as e-commerce or something like that. So you cannot take just that 1 month and say, oh, I make $30,000 a month. No, you don't. Because we're going to average it out over 24 months, over 2 years. And you need to have been in that same line of work. Don't keep jumping around. That's not going to work. I know, you got to go where it's hot. But I'm saying if you're going to jump around, let's keep it in the same area. So let's do Uber Eats. Let's do Shipt. Let's do whatever. Let's do Grubhub. Let's do all of this where you're delivering or whatever. Let's do all of that at the same time. Let's do that for the 2 years or whatever. Or if you're going to do hair or whatever it is that you're doing, we need to see a full 2 years history and 2 years tax returns in that industry, in that line of work. Just like I touched on just a minute ago about, maybe you had a really good month in December. When you are self-employed, we want to see stable or increasing income. I want it stable or increasing. If on average you're netting $10,000 a month, that's what we want to see, $10,000 a month over 24 months. Or I want to see it increasing. So if you just started, 3-4 months ago, and you only had $3,000 in income, but 6-12 months down the road, you're up here and you're making $10,000 a month in income, in net income. That's what I want to see. It's got to be stable or increasing. We don't want to see, the underwriters do not want to see you making $50,000 this month and then you got $5,000 this month. and then your 3,000 and your 6,000 and carrying on. And then you have another big month. That's why we want to see 24 months, because we're going to average out that income over 24 months to make sure that you are successfully making this amount of money every month, that your income is stable or increasing. Because if you're showing decreases, like maybe you was, like I said, you was doing good in December, and then it done bottomed out until next November when it's getting ready to be Christmas time again. That's not going to work, because we're going to average the 24 months worth of income from those 2 years worth of tax returns. We're going to divide it over 24 months. And if it is declining and it's not stable and dependable, then it's not going to work for you as far as qualifying. One other thing, when you are a self-employed, you're a contractor, you're a sole proprietor, you're self-employed. I'm not saying that you can't have multiple businesses, but you need to concentrate on one that's going to bring in the majority of your money. You need to concentrate on that one. You can have multiple businesses. That is not a problem. That is not a problem, because you're going to have a Schedule C for each business. Okay? But don't let these other businesses mess up the work that you've put in. Like I told you, you can't write off a whole lot for 2 years so that you can show your income. So don't have another business where you're going to show a serious loss in this business, because that's just going to offset the income that you're reporting on your main business. Okay? So you can have multiple businesses, but you don't need to be showing a serious loss on one. And because you're thinking, okay, well, my main business is this, so I'm not going to show a loss over here, but I've got another little side business, and I'm going to write off, and I'm going to make it show a loss of 20,000 or whatever. Let's say you got a $12,000 loss you want to write off, but you don't want to write it off on your main business. It's still going to count, because it's all on the same tax return. So if you're showing a $12,000 loss on this business, right? But on your main business, you're showing, oh, I make $10,000 a month over here, but you're showing $12,000 loss over here. You don't have no income. You're still showing a loss, because it's in totality that we look at those Schedule C's on that tax return. Okay? So don't show this loss on some other business just because you're trying to double dip. You still trying to get your losses written off, but you still want to show income on this business. That don't work. It's not going to work. So don't do that. Please consider subscribing to the channel if this video has helped you, and please share it with someone who may need this information also. Thank you. One other thing I see a lot of us self-employed people doing is don't move this money around. Don't move the money around. Okay? If you get paid and you deposit your checks in this checking account, or you have direct deposit in this particular checking account, okay? Don't be moving the money. You got all these other little secondary accounts, and you want to move money around here and you want to move money around there. Don't do that. Don't do that. Leave that money in one account. Leave it in one account. Even if you have set up your business as a corporation and you are W-2ing yourself, that is fine. That is fine. But the money that you pay yourself through the payroll service, keep it in that one account. Don't be moving money around. Because see, you make me want to, as an underwriter, I'm like, what y'all doing? What y'all doing? There's anti-money laundering laws out here. The Patriot Act was enacted just so we can make sure that people wasn't, moving money around and money laundering and doing illegal stuff with their money. Do not, I'm telling you as an underwriter, do not give me any reason to question you or question what you got going on. Okay? You need to make it as plain as vanilla for me and for the underwriter. Okay? Because let's say your income you was right down the line, right? You kind of questionable. And I'm feeling kind of, so about you on paper. Okay. I get over here to these bank statements and you moving money around and you got Cash App coming in here and Cash App coming in there and Zelle going out here and Zelle going out there and this, that, and the third, and you moving all this around. I got some problem with that. Because number one, I got to figure out what you doing. And what you doing may only make sense to you. And I get that. Don't get me wrong. You know, if you trying to keep money in separate places, you know, you want an account where you saving up your down payment money, or you got an account where you saving up your closing cost money or whatever. Okay, cool. Do one transfer a month into that savings account and give me that statement for that savings account. So I can see, oh, the money went from A to B. Okay, cool. I'm cool with that. But some of y'all got 20 different accounts and y'all forever moving money around. What is that? And then some of you, oh, well, if I get money from this customer, I don't put it in with all the rest of the customers. Or if I get money on a Tuesday, I don't put it in the account where all the other money went in on a Tuesday. What is that? You making it hard on yourself. See, when these little red flags go up, and I be looking at your file and I'm like, something ain't right. Something ain't right. Whereas if you make it super easy, where you got one account, there it is. I may have one savings account. You see, I make my move once a month at the end of the month, at the beginning of the month, I move money in my savings account and I don't touch that savings account no more. Then you're easy for me. You're easy for the underwriter. We can see. But when you got everything going on here, there, and yonder, okay, fine. If you do Cash App with your kids or your mom and them to pay for this, pay for that, you planning the vacation, you doing this, you doing that, leave that out of your main checking account. Leave that out of your main account where you pay your bills, where your money comes into. You need to leave that totally alone. Do not intermix your business with your personal. Your monies, they need to stay separated, because you're just making the water muddy, and then we can't really tell what is yours and what's somebody else's and really what you're doing. Please consider subscribing to the channel if this video has helped you, and please share it with someone who may need this information also. Thank you. And remember these two things. I went over this in the first video. When you're trying to get a loan, you're trying to get a mortgage, you're trying to buy a house, and you're self-employed. You are truly self-employed. You need a higher credit score. You need a higher credit score. You need 700 or above. Don't run up, you coming in trying to buy a house with a 587 credit score. I told y'all in the last video, the deck is already stacked against us as self-employed people. So you got to come strong. You need to have a strong credit profile. You need to have 700, at least a 680, but I'm saying 700. You need a 700 credit score or higher, okay? And also, you need some cash reserves. This is for W-2 people as well as us self-employed people. When the loan has closed, when the transaction has concluded, we want to see that after everything is said and done, after you pay your closing costs, after you do whatever, that you have at least 2 months worth of reserves still in an account somewhere, checking or savings. 2 months worth of reserves, 2 months worth of property, the property taxes, the homeowner's insurance, and your principal and your interest, the PITI. I want to see at least 2 months worth of PITI put up somewhere. You're going to need that. And that's after you close. That's after you pay your closing costs. You're going to need that. So work on your credit score and get your money up. You got to do that because, again, the deck is stacked against us when we're self-employed. So those are two other things that you definitely going to have to need. You're going to have. Again, my name is Rhonda Burgess, and I'm a real estate broker and mortgage underwriter here in the Nashville, Tennessee area. If this video has helped you, please consider subscribing, give it a thumbs up, give it a heart, give it a like, give it a something, so we can share this information with others who may need this information as well.